the remembrance. Zikr literally means remembrance. And we're remembering our Lord. This is outside of the obligations that we have to do. We have to pray 5 times a day. We have to fast. We have to go to the Hajj, give zakat. But this is outside. These are what is called supererogatory worship. If you want to be better, you're not really just satisfied with the basics, because you want to be better. You want to go deeper. So not only are you going to do the things that you have to do, and you're going to make sure that you do it well with the right intention. They can't hear? You can hear? But it's very funny, this echo. I don't like to hear myself. Especially right now. If the ladies can't hear me, you're going to say, I can't hear you, speak louder. But I think my voice can be loud enough sometimes. But if you cannot say, then the remembrance. There are 40 main Sufi orders, and every one of them has a different way of remembering. Like we said, the Mevlevi order of Mevlana Rumi. Okay, the Mevlevi order of the Mevlana Rumi. Can you hear me? Not well. Okay. Turn it on a little bit more. Maybe bring that a little bit closer to them. I think because the air is also very humid. I'm trying to find an excuse. That's why. Wait, before I continue, I have to give candy to the kids here, because they're not for you. It's for the kids. I know you're a big kid, but it's for the little kids, because they've been they're pretty good. You see? Okay. The chanting and the remembrance. There are 40 main Sufi ways, spiritual ways, that is out of this main body of Muslims called the Sunnis, meaning the people who imitate the way of the Prophet Muhammad. This constitutes the majority, 80-90% throughout history. So out of this main body of Sunnis, there are some that they want a little bit more than just what has been revealed, the do's and the don'ts. They want to understand why. And they want to experience a little bit of that reality here in this world. So 40 spiritual, mystical orders that started from the time of the Prophet, that he gave to some of his companions, not to everyone, because certain knowledges, they're not for everyone. Until they have learned how to learn, until they have learned how to understand. It is very easy then for certain things to be misunderstood. So for those who aspire more, who can understand more, this is for them. So 40 main Sufi orders, and every Sufi order has a different way of chanting, remembrance. Like what we say, the whirling dervishes, they whirl and they remember. There are some, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Sufi group called the Qadiris, following Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Gailani, Qaddasallahu sir, may Allah sanctify his secret.
Ameen.
The name Qadir is one of the names of Allah that we mention in the zikr also. It means the all-powerful. So their zikr too is very powerful. It's very energetic. People get up and they move. And in the Naqshbandi Zikr, and we are one of the 40 Sufi groups, and our way, there are two. One is the open or loud zikr. This is what we're doing. We're sitting and we're remembering with our voices. And there's another way which is called the silent way, the secret way, in which we gather and we remember without saying a word. All that zikr is in our heart. So, this is all coming from the verse from the Quran. Because there are so many who say, where is the basis of this? Well, we talk about a new group that came out 150 years ago that starts to question everything that was in Islam for 1400 years. They say, well, where is this in the book? Although it's been an established tradition, Allah is saying in the Quran, remember me and I will remember you. And there are so many other verses in the Quran that says to remember. So what we did just now is to pull ourselves away from this world, from our thinkings, from our problems, from ourselves, and to try to be with our Lord. They're saying in Islam, our Lord, Allah, is closer to us than our jugular vein. But we are very far away from our Lord. So the zikr is a way to remember to be with our Lord. To sit down and to say, you're remembering me all the time. You'd never forget me for an instant. But I'm always forgetting you. I just want to be here to be with you. And in the Sufi tradition, in reality, everything that we do, the 5 prayers, the giving of charity, going to the Hajj, fasting, everything that we do is in remembrance of our Lord. But the difference is, sometimes we can be doing all these outward actions, but in our heart we know we're not remembering. We know that we can be guilty of performing a prayer, but our heart is busy not with our Lord, busy with the world, planning, cooking, eating, whatever it is. We know that we can be guilty when we give charity, but in that giving of charity, there is arrogance. There is claiming that this is my money and I give it to you, where in reality, nothing that we have belongs to us. So in the Sufi orders, it is to check again, and check again. It is to judge ourselves. You just did it. Why did you do it? What is the reason? Is it because that one was there and you're trying to say something? You just worship. Why did you worship? For many, we're not saying it is wrong. For many, they worship to get something back. So God becomes like Santa Claus. I've been good, so I deserve this. That level of faith has not passed superstition. I do something good to you, you must do something good to me. That is the deal that we're making. I'm not saying it is wrong, because our Lord says, ask from me. But there are those who goes deeper and they say, you are my Lord. Whether you give or you don't give, you deserve to be remembered. You deserve to be worshipped. This is when ashq, love, and passion comes in. This is when love comes in, that it doesn't ask for anything in return. It is about giving. This is when love comes in and it says, I don't exist, you exist. When we say La ilaha illallah, implicit in that is we're denying even our own existence, which in reality we don't exist. Only the Lord exists. So we are just practicing. We're practicing. We're imitating the holy ones. But they've reached And they're showing us, if you like, this is the path. Sufism, tariqat, means path, a way. So in this order especially, we are concentrating on the ego. It is not practices, it is not fasting, it is not knowledge, it is the ego. It is understanding yourself. I don't like to use the word Islamic psychology. But it is learning yourself. Because the Prophet says, the one who knows himself, he knows his Lord. This is a way that has been established for 1400 years. And we see it has produced results. And what we want is to remember our Lord. Because everything else is going to pass. Everything else is going to fade. Our looks, our youth, our children, our parents, our wealth, everything that, our thoughts, our knowledge, our ideologies, everything is going to pass. And the Sufis are taught, before you reach to that station of realizing that death is knocking at your door and suddenly you're in a panic to prepare yourself for the hereafter, the Sufi is taught to practice to die before you die. What is important to us? Our family. Is this making you? Are they helping you to come closer to that reality, to your Lord? Yes. They are a source of support to you. There are many amongst us here, especially the young ones, and they have jobs, they have work, they have responsibilities, they're married, they're not leaving this world and running up the mountain to become a shepherd. Some did, but not all. But there are many who are here with us. The parents, although they are Sunnis, although they have some Sufi leanings, they say, don't do that. Don't listen to a man here sitting and speaking and telling you what your religion is. You have intelligence, read the book, because he's going to brainwash you. That, given with the hatred of traditional and Sufi Islam by the own Muslims, we're up against a huge tidal wave, but we stand. If we are, to borrow from the Bible, a lone voice in the wilderness, it's okay, our Lord is with us. And we're following the tradition of all those ones who have been the lone voices in the wilderness. This wilderness is not real, it'll pass. That lone voice, that one is real. So we're taught slowly, what are our desires? What are our attachment to this world? What is that evil side of ourselves, the demonic side of ourselves? And what is our own ego? These are the four enemies to man in the Naqshbandi order. Nafsu, shaitan, hawa, dunya. Your ego first, before shaitan. Hawa, your desires, and dunya in this world. We take this, we try to look within, to be in a community, understanding that in practice. And we try to judge ourselves before we are judged, and we try to die before we die. Maybe we're not going to succeed, it doesn't matter. There is a story in the Quran when Nimrod built a huge fire to throw Abraham, his friend, into that fire. there was an ant with a broken leg who was carrying a drop, not even a drop of water, in its mouth, and it was walking. And Allah said to an angel, go down into this world and ask that ant, what is it trying to do? And that ant replied to the angel saying, I'm here to put out the fire of Namrud. The angel is saying, oh ant, what can you do? That fire is so huge, it can be seen all the way in Iraq. That ant with a broken leg says, I don't care. Abraham is the only one right now who is a friend of his Lord. I'm here to put out that fire. And because of that intention of that ant, our Lord says, he is my beloved. And he will be with me, next to me on the day of judgment. An ant. What about mankind that Allah has created to represent him? Like I said, we're not here wishing for perfection or wishing for success. Our purpose here is to try sincerely, because even in that trying, in reality, that effort for a believer is not coming from him. It is coming from his Lord. And as much submission that he has according to that, that much more power comes. And if we die before we can reach to the fire, doesn't matter. But we ask, may our efforts be accepted by our Lord, inshallah. Anyone who likes, they are welcome. Anyone who doesn't like, you are welcome too. Welcome to those who come, farewell to those who leave. Our Shaykh is saying, if you find something in these words that is going to be useful to you, take it. If you don't like it, leave it. I will take it. I need it. I need it. May Allah forgive me. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Welcome to you. Welcome to our guests, inshallah. This much is enough. Assalamu alaikum.